Okay, this is the John Campbell Show. We are reading this book, The Chronicles of Narnia, The Magician's Nephew. I'm in chapter 2. The magicians were nothing. My heart broke down in the end, but I got better. And at least these chants of anyone overhearing them, he leaned forward and almost whispered. A lanyard box contained something that I had been brought from another world when our world was only just beginning. What? Asked Diggory, who was now interested in spite of himself. Only dust, said. Fine dry dust, nothing much to look at. Not much to show for a lifetime of toil. But when I looked at that dust, I took jolly good care not to touch it, and thought that every rain had once been another world, and did not mean another planet. You know, there went far enough, but a really other world, another never reached, even if he traveled through the space of this universe forever and ever. A world that could be rubbed his hands until his knuckles cracked like fireworks. I knew he went on that if only you could get it into that right form, the dust would draw you back to the place that I came from. But the difficulty was to get it into the right form. My earlier experiments were all failures. I tried them on guinea pigs. Some of them only died. Some exploded like little bombs. It was a jolly cruel thing to do, said Diggory. Had come who once had a guinea pig of his own. How you do keep getting off the point, said Uncle Andrew. That's what the creatures were for. I bought them myself. Let me see, where was I? Oh yes, at last I succeeded in making the rings, the yellow rings, but now a new difficulty arose. I was pretty sure now we send any creature that touched into the other place, but what would be the good of it if I can get them back? Tell me what they had found there. And what about them, said Diggory. These mess. Nice mess. They'd be in if they couldn't get back. You would keep on looking at everything from the wrong point of view, Uncle. With a look of impatience, can't you understand the things that is great experiment? The whole point is sending anyone into the other place is that I want to find out what it's like. Well, why don't you go yourself then? Diggory had hardly ever seen anyone look so surprised and offended as his uncle had to say. Me, the boy must be mad. Man, at my time of life, say the house there is, flung suddenly into a different universe. So preposterous in my life. Do you realize what you're saying? Think what Andrew World means. You might mean anything. Suppose you sent Polly into it then. cheeks were flaming with anger now. And I would say, even if you are my uncle, and you behave like a coward sending a girl to a place where you're afraid to go yourself. Silence, sir, said Uncle Andrew, bringing his hand down on the table. I would not be talked to like that by a little dirty schoolboy. You don't understand, I am the great scholar, the magician, the adept, who is doing the experiment. Of course I need the subject to do it all. Bless my soul, you'll be telling me next that I ought to have asked to get into permission before I use them. No great wisdom can be reached without sacrifice. But the idea of my going myself ridiculous. It's like asking the general to fight it as a common soldier. Supposing I got killed, what would become of my life's work? Oh, dude, stop trying, said Diggory. Are you going to bring Polly back? I was going to tell you when you so rudely interrupted me, said Uncle Andrew. I did at last find out a way of doing the return trip to Green Ring to draw you back. Polly hasn't gotten the Green Ring, no. And she can't get back, shouted Diggory. Exactly the same as you murdered her. To get back, if someone else would go after her, wearing yellow, green, and taking 2 green rings and bring himself back. And now, of course, Diggory saw the trap which he was caught. The cheeks were very pale. As if it were a perfect uncle who had given one a handsome tip. I hope, Diggory, you are not given to showing the white feather. I should be very sorry to think that any of our family has not enough honor and chivalry to go. Oh, shut up, said Diggory. If you had any honor and all that, you'd be going yourself, but I know you won't. Alright, I've got to go. But you are a beast. I suppose you planned the whole thing so that she go without knowing it. Of course, with his hateful smile. Farewell, I'll go, but there's one thing I jolly well mean to say first. I didn't believe in magic till today. I see more or less true, and if he's simply a wicked, cruel magician like the ones in the stories, well, I've never read the end. I bet you'll be and serve you right. Of all the things Diggory had said, this was the first that really went home. Uncle Andrews started, and there came over his face, thinking such horror that beast. Though he was, you can almost feel sorry for him, but a second later he smoothed it all away, said with a rather foresight, well, suppose that is a natural thing for a child to think. Brought up among women, as you have been older wives' tales. I don't think you need to worry about my danger, Diggory. If there are any dangers over there, well, it would be a pity to arrive. moment too late. Lock these arrows, said Diggory forcefully, but I'm sick. You really must learn to control that temper of yours, my boy. Otherwise, you'll grow up to be just like your Aunt Letty. Now attend to me. And put a pair of gloves and walked over to a tray that contained the only words he said, if wearing gloves, I can pick them up. Nothing happens, but if you carried one in your pocket, nothing would happen, but of course your pocket. You have to be hurt not to put your ring into your hand. Your pocket can touch it by accident. The moment you would touch the other, you would vanish out of this world. When you are in the other place, I accept, of course, when you are in the other place. This hasn't been tested yet, but I expect at the moment you touch the green ring, you vanish out of that world, and I expect you reappearing this. Now I take these two greens and drop them into your right hand pocket. Remember very carefully the green are in for G, and the right are for right. GR, you see that which are the first two letters of green. One for you and one for the little girl. And now you pick up a yellow one for yourself, so I should put it on. Look here, he said, what about mother supposed? She asked, where am I? The sooner you go, the sooner you'll be back. You don't know whether I can get back. Oh, very well then, just as you please. Go down and have your dinner. Usually eaten by a wild animal and drowned, starved in it. Miss Plummer exclaimed that she'll never see her daughter again, because you were afraid to put the ring on. By gum, said, don't I just wish I was big enough to punch your head. And he buttoned up his coat and took a deep breath. He always thought afterwards too he could not decently have done anything else. That is all of Diggory and his uncle. So how do you guys like it? Put it in the comment section below. And tell me what you think of the Narnia, the Magician's Nephew. Chronicles of Narnia.